In the north, people told stories of giants, dwarves, monsters and heroes. At the centre of this world, on a high throne, was Odin, a king, wanderer, poet, magician and father to gods and men, chief of the Æsir in Asgard. Odin's story is woven with war, wisdom, sacrifice and magic. He sought knowledge at any cost, giving an eye for wisdom. He understood the secrets of the runes. He was constantly moving, shaping destinies, preparing for battle. He is a leader burdened by the knowledge of a future he cannot prevent. His tales explore power, knowledge and fate. The stories of Odin have echoed through the centuries, influencing our language and art. He is a god who refuses to be forgotten. In this journey, we will unlock the secrets of the All-Father through ancient texts. We will meet his ravens and wolves. We will delve into his roles, from the god of war to the quiet poet. This is the story of Odin. Odin was never just one thing, but a god of contradictions, known by over 170 titles. Each name revealed a different aspect of his power. Our knowledge of Odin comes from the Eddas, Icelandic books from the Middle Ages. These texts are our primary windows into Odin's world, telling of his family, quests and fate at Ragnarök. Odin's presence is felt across the old Germanic world. Wednesday is Woden's Day, a reminder of his enduring influence. In this series, we will peel back the layers of this fascinating deity. Prepare to enter the age of Vikings and uncover the truth behind the legend of Odin. Before gods or men, there was only a great void called Ginnungagap. To the north was the frozen realm of Niflheim, and to the south the fiery Muspelheim. When the ice of Niflheim met the heat of Muspelheim, life stirred, and a giant named Ymir was formed. Another creature emerged, the cow Audumbla, whose milk nourished Ymir. Audumbla licked the ice, and Buri, the first of the gods, was freed. Buri's grandson Odin and his brothers Vili and Ve, the first of the Æsir gods, saw the giants as chaotic. They killed Ymir, and his blood became a flood, drowning all but one giant, Bergelmir. With Ymir dead, Odin and his brothers began to build a world from his corpse. The brothers carried Ymir to Ginnungagap. From his flesh they fashioned the earth, his bones became mountains, and his blood the oceans. Ymir's skull became the sky, held by 4 dwarves, north, south, east and west. Embers from Muspelheim became the sun, moon and stars, marking time. His eyebrows formed Midgard, a fortress against the giants of Jotunheimer. The gods found driftwood and gave it life. Odin gave them life, Vili, intelligence, and Ve, senses. They became Ask and Embla, the first humans. Odin, chief of the gods, was known as the All-Father. He was the patriarch of a large divine family. Odin's most famous consort was Frigg, queen of Asgard. With Frigg, Odin fathered Balder, the god of light. Odin had many children, including Thor, the mighty god of thunder, whose mother was Jord, the earth. Through his many sons, Odin's influence spread across the divine landscape, shaping the fate of gods and men alike. Odin was never alone. His ravens, Huginn and Muninn, flew across the worlds each day, returning to whisper all they'd seen into his ear. These birds, thought and memory, were his eyes and ears, feeding his endless hunger for knowledge. At his feet prowled Jerry and Freki, his wolves who devoured his food while Odin drank only mead. These companions were more than animals, they were living symbols of Odin's power, wisdom and connection to the wild. The raven, the wolf, creatures of war and cunning, reflected the All-Father's mastery over fate and battle. Through them, Odin's reach extended across the cosmos, his vigilance unbroken. Huginn, Muninn, Geri and Freki, the ever-watchful shadows of the High One. Odin is the one-eyed god, his missing eye a mark of sacrifice, not battle. He gave it up at Mimir's well, trading sight for wisdom and the secrets of fate. As Grimnir, the masked one, he roams the worlds in disguise, seeking knowledge among gods and mortals alike. His weathered face and single piercing eye are symbols of the price of true understanding. Odin is not a distant king, but a restless seeker, forever searching for answers to stave off the end. His journey is one of pain and insight, authority and vulnerability. The All-Father's wisdom is hard-won, a lesson etched into his very being. In Odin we see that knowledge demands sacrifice. Odin is the god of war's frenzy, not just its glory. He stirs berserkers to madness and strikes terror into his foes, shaping battles with a thought. Victory is his gift, but his favour is fickle. He chooses warriors for his own ends, not for justice. The bravest slain are taken by Valkyries to Valhall, Odin's hall where they fight and feast, preparing for Ragnarök. Valhall is no paradise, but a training ground for the final battle. Odin gathers heroes, not for reward, but for the world's last stand. The father of the slain is both a bringer of death and a keeper of hope. In Odin's hall, every day is a rehearsal for the end. Odin is the source of poetry and runes gifts won through cunning and sacrifice. He stole the mead of poetry, granting inspiration to gods and mortals, but only a chosen few receive its purest form. To master the runes, Odin hung himself from Yggdrasil, wounded and fasting for 9 nights, seizing the secrets of magic and fate. Runes are more than letters, they are keys to healing, binding and shaping reality. Odin's power is the power of words of creation, destruction and transformation. Through poetry and runes he shapes the world's destiny. His wisdom is hard-earned, his gifts both blessing and burden. Odin, the master of symbols, wields the language of the cosmos. Odin is the master of Seda, the magic of fate and transformation, learned from Freyja and wielded without shame. He travels in spirit, sees destinies and weaves new futures, guiding souls as the leader of the wild hunt. His magic binds and unbinds, symbolized by the Valknut, the knot of the slain. Odin's power is subtle and overwhelming, prophecy and trance, wisdom and wildness. He is a psychopomp, a sorcerer, a god who crosses all boundaries. Roman writers saw Mercury in him, but Odin is far more dangerous and primal. His mastery of the unseen arts makes him a god of many faces, warrior, poet, wanderer and magician. In Odin all mysteries converge and all destinies are bound. Odin's story extends beyond medieval poems, tracing back to the Roman Empire. Roman writers encountering Germanic tribes noted their prominent god equated to Mercury, a guide of souls. Scholars believe this was an early form of Odin, a god of wisdom and magic. Artistic references to Odin appear during the migration period. Gold bracteates depict a figure with a spear, horse and raven, symbols strongly associated with Odin. One bracteate contains a runic inscription, the High One, a name for Odin. Odin emerges from history, worshipped long before the Viking-age. When Germanic tribes like the Angles, Saxons and Jutes crossed the sea to settle in Britain, they brought their gods with them. In the Old English language, Odin was known as Woden. He was a figure of immense importance, not just as a god to be worshipped, but as a divine ancestor. The new kings of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, from Kent to Northumbria, proudly traced their royal bloodlines directly back to Woden. To be a king was to be descended from a god, and for many of these powerful dynasties, Woden was the ultimate source of their authority and their right to rule. He was the great-grandfather of kings, a founder of nations. His name echoes through the surviving texts of Anglo-Saxon England. He appears in the 9 Herbs Charm, an old healing rhyme meant to cure poisoning and sickness. In this poem, Woden is shown as a powerful magician. He uses his might to strike a serpent, shattering it into 9 pieces. This reveals his role as a protector and a master of potent magic, a deity one could call upon for aid against dark forces. It is, I think, a different side to the god we see in Norse texts. Here he is less the grim god of war and more of a divine shaman, a wielder of powerful, secret knowledge used for the good of his people. Woden's presence is also felt in Old English poetry, such as the collection known as Maxims I. The poem contains the line, "Woden wrought idols, the Almighty wrought glory." This line, written after the conversion to Christianity, shows a fascinating tension. The Christian scribe acknowledges Woden, but frames him as a maker of false pagan gods, contrasting him with the true Christian God. Even as an adversary in a new religious landscape, Woden was still a figure of immense power, a force that had to be recognized and contended with. His memory was too strong to simply be erased. It had to be reshaped and recontextualized for a new era. Most famously, his name became permanently embedded in the English language itself. The 4th day of the week, Wednesday, comes directly from the Old English Woden's-dag, which means Woden's Day. This is a direct parallel to the Latin Dies Mercuriae, or Mercury's Day, reinforcing the ancient connection between the two gods. Every time we say the word Wednesday, we are unknowingly echoing the name of this great Anglo-Saxon deity. He is a god who has hidden himself in our calendar, a constant, quiet reminder of the deep roots of pagan belief that lie beneath the surface of our modern world. The Viking Age, from the late 8th to the 11th centuries, is when Odin truly steps into the full light of history. One of the most significant historical accounts comes from Adam of Bremen, who described a great pagan temple located at Uppsala in Sweden. He wrote that this temple was adorned with gold and that people worshipped three main gods there, including Odin as a major war god. The Vikings left their own messages carved in stone and wood. Archaeologists have found runic inscriptions that call upon Odin for help, showing he was part of everyday life. The Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda preserved oral traditions detailing Odin's family and destiny at Ragnarök. These texts are the bedrock of our understanding. Beyond written words, the archaeological record provides stunning visual evidence of Odin's importance. All across Scandinavia, especially on the Swedish island of Gotland, there are large, decorated image stones from the Viking Age. Many of these stones show a recurring scene, a rider on an eight-legged horse being welcomed by a female figure holding a drinking horn. This is widely interpreted as Odin on his steed, Sleipnir, arriving at Valhall or another realm, greeted by a Valkyrie. The eight-legged horse is a dead giveaway, a unique feature that leaves little doubt as to the rider's identity. These stones were public monuments telling the stories of Odin for all to see. Other artifacts provide more intimate portraits. In 2009, a small, remarkable figurine was discovered in Ledre, Denmark, the legendary seat of ancient Danish kings. Cast in silver with inlaid black, yellow and gold, the figurine depicts a seated male figure on a throne. On the arms of the throne sit two birds. The figure wears a long robe and a distinct neck ring. This is almost certainly a depiction of Odin on his high throne, Hlidskjalf, with his ravens, Huginn and Muninn. Dating to around 900 AD, this Odin from Ledre is one of the most detailed and compelling representations of the god ever found, a tiny masterpiece of Viking art. The symbols associated with him are also found across the archaeological landscape. The Valknut, a symbol made of three interlocked triangles, is often found on image stones and artifacts connected with death and battle. It appears on the Stora Hammerstone in Gotland, right next to a scene of human sacrifice that is likely dedicated to Odin. This powerful symbol is believed to represent Odin's power to bind and unbind, to control the fates of warriors and to claim the slain for himself. While its exact meaning is still debated, its connection to the cult of Odin is almost universally accepted by scholars. Even the fragments of tapestries tell his story. The famous Oseberg ship burial in Norway from the 9th century contained fragments of a complex woven tapestry. Amidst the many scenes, one image shows two black birds flying over a horse, which is in a procession of figures and wagons. While open to interpretation, this scene is often read as another symbolic reference to Odin, his ravens, and his connection to ritual journeys. From grand memorial stones to small personal charms, from silver thrones to woven threads, the archaeological evidence is clear. Odin was not just a myth, he was a living, breathing part of the Viking world, etched into their art and their very landscape. Where did Odin come from? Scholars have looked for clues in the deep past. One theory connects Odin to a wider family of ancient gods from India to Ireland. This idea was developed by Georges Dumézil. These societies structured their world around three functions: sovereignty, warfare, and fertility. Odin represents sovereignty with magical and legal sides. He is the master of magic and esoteric knowledge. This is seen in other cultures like the Hindu gods Varuna and Mitra. Odin may be a local version of an older divine archetype. Like Odin, Varuna is a powerful sky god and master of magic. This helps us understand Odin's contradictions. These are facets of an ancient concept of sovereignty. He uses dark arts to maintain power and prepare for the world's end. Another powerful interpretation of Odin focuses on his role as a divine shaman. A shaman is a figure who can mediate between the world of the living and the world of spirits. They enter ecstatic trances, undertake spirit journeys, and seek knowledge from other realms. Odin's mythology is filled with actions that mirror shamanic practices perfectly. His 9-night ordeal hanging on Yggdrasil, wounded and starving, is a classic example of a shamanic initiation ritual. Through intense suffering and a symbolic death and rebirth, he gains access to profound mystical secrets, in his case the runes. This is not just a quest for knowledge, it is a transformation of consciousness. His ability to practice Saida, a form of magic involving prophecy and spirit travel, further strengthens this connection. The stories say he could change his shape, sending his spirit out of his body in the form of an animal, while his physical body lay as if asleep or dead. This is the very definition of a shamanic soul flight. His companions, the ravens Huginn and Muninn, can also be seen as his spirit helpers, animal guides who travel to distant worlds to bring him information. This view frames Odin not so much as a king or a warrior, but as the archetypal magician, the great shaman of the north whose power comes from his mastery of the spirit world. This shamanic interpretation is often linked to another one, Odin as a god of the wind and the breath of life. His very name, Odin, is related to the Old Norse word odiar, which can mean frenzy, passion or inspiration, but also has connections to concepts of wind and spirit. When he and his brothers create the first humans, Ask and Embla, it is Odin who provides the most crucial gift Ond, which means breath, spirit or soul. He is literally the one who breathes life into humanity. This act connects him to the fundamental force of life itself, carried on the wind. This idea of a wind god helps explain his association with the wild hunt, the ghostly procession that tears through the winter sky like a storm. He is the leader of the restless dead, a furious gale of spirits sweeping across the land. His movement is constant. He is the eternal wanderer, never staying in one place for long, much like the wind itself. In this light, Odin becomes a personification of a powerful natural force, the invisible, life-giving and sometimes destructive power of the air. He is the spirit that inspires the poet, the frenzy that maddens the warrior, and the breath that animates the soul, all tied to this primal concept of wind. Some scholars propose Odin wasn't always the chief god, but a later addition, eventually supplanting older gods. This theory distinguishes between the Æsir and the Vanir. The Vanir, associated with fertility, might represent an older religion absorbed by the warrior Æsir, led by Odin. As Germanic society became more militaristic, Odin, a god of war and authority, became more relevant. Some even speculate Odin was a foreign import, influenced by Eurasian steppe cultures. However, these theories are debated, with many arguing Odin's attributes trace back to early Germanic culture. Whether patriarch, spirit master or warlord god, Odin remains a rich and mysterious figure. After the Viking-age, Odin found new realms in art and literature. During the 19th century, Romantic nationalism inspired artists and writers. Odin the All-Father became a central figure. Richard Wagner reimagined Odin as Wotan in. This portrayal presented Odin as a figure of immense pathos. In J.R.R. Tolkien's world, Gandalf is inspired by Odin. More recently, in Neil Gaiman's, Odin appears as Mr. Wednesday. Odin's story is a powerful narrative that explores the anxieties of our time. Odin's larger-than-life character is perfectly suited for cinema and television. One of his most globally recognized modern appearances is within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, portrayed by Sir Anthony Hopkins. This cinematic Odin is a departure from the mythological source, presented as a benevolent ruler rather than a dangerous pagan god. A different portrayal can be found in American Gods, where Ian McShane plays Mr. Wednesday. McShane's Odin is charismatic, ruthless and cunning. These portrayals highlight the incredible flexibility of Odin's character, a rich source to explore themes of power in the modern age. Odin has found a powerful home in video games, allowing players to encounter him as an ally or adversary. In strategy games, players can seek Odin's favor. More recently, Odin has been cast as an antagonist, like in God of War, presenting a chilling version of the All-Father. Assassin's Creed Valhalla weaves Norse myths into its narrative, presenting Odin as a member of a precursor civilization. These digital incarnations demonstrate Odin's enduring appeal as a figure of power and knowledge. Each game reinterprets his character, from a terrifying boss to a guiding spirit. In this digital Valhalla, Odin is more alive than ever. We have journeyed far to understand Odin. We have seen him shaping the world, giving life to the first humans and sacrificing his eye for wisdom. He is a warrior king, a wandering magician, and a master of the dead. Odin is a figure of stunning complexity, not a simple hero or villain. This web of contradictions is the very source of his power, reflecting the chaotic nature of the world. His influence is woven into our world, long after his worship has faded. We see his face on our movie screens and confront his mind in video games. He is a testament to the idea that a powerful story can outlive empires. He has travelled from Scandinavia to the global consciousness. The All-Father's shadow is long, a symbol of the eternal search for knowledge. So why do we keep coming back to him? In a world of science and technology, what is the appeal of a one-eyed god from a forgotten faith? Perhaps it is because Odin's struggles feel profoundly human. He is a leader who knows that a great catastrophe is coming. He sees Ragnarök, the end of all things, on the horizon, yet he does not give in to despair. Instead, he spends every moment preparing, gathering knowledge, and building his army of heroes. He fights against an unwinnable fate, not because he thinks he can stop it, but because it is his nature to struggle, to strive, and to face the darkness with courage and cunning. This resonates with us. We all face our own endings, our own personal Ragnaroks. Odin's story tells us that there is nobility in the struggle itself, regardless of the outcome. His endless quest for knowledge speaks to our own curiosity, our own desire to understand the world and our place within it. He teaches us that wisdom is not a gift. It is something you must earn, something you must fight for, and often something for which you must sacrifice a part of yourself. His tales are not just adventure stories, they are timeless lessons about power, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of meaning in a world that is often chaotic and unforgiving. The stories of Odin are a testament to the power of myth. They are more than just entertainment. They are the tools with which a culture understands itself. They explore the biggest questions we can ask. What is the nature of power? What is the price of knowledge? How do we face our mortality? The Norse myths, with Odin at their centre, provide answers that are not simple or comforting, but complex, challenging, and endlessly fascinating. They give us a language to talk about the wilder, more mysterious parts of the human experience, the parts that cannot be easily measured or explained. Ultimately, we tell the stories of Odin because we are still searching for the same things he was. We seek knowledge. We grapple with our fate. We build legacies that we hope will outlive us. The All-Father is a mirror, reflecting our own ambitions, our own anxieties, and our own unquenchable spirit. His myths have survived for thousands of years, passed down from storyteller to storyteller, from runestone to printed page, from the silver screen to the digital realm. And as long as humanity continues to look up at the stormy sky and wonder about the secrets it holds, we will continue to tell the stories of the one-eyed God who gave up everything to know it all.